Here is your podcast.
You know, I've been doing this show 9 years. In the beginning, it was great. I got to show up and just talk and leave. That was fantastic. But now Mex sends me this theme song, tells me to put my own voice in it. Lily shows up. She doesn't produce a goddamn thing. All she does is laugh, turn around, and go home. The only thing I don't wind up doing for this show is listen to it. That's your fucking job. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. That's me. I'm the host. That's me talking. That's how I do it. I like to open a show with me talking and telling you where you're at and who I am. Folks, I'm going to say this. Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show, and she's here with me now. And she's the producer of many other shows, live shows, burlesque shows, shows in which you can see ladies dancing around and taking their clothes off, and you can drink while you're doing that. You know where you can't do that? Idaho, ladies and gentlemen. I just found out from my friend Lily Von Stupp. She said, it's the death of my industry. And I guess in Idaho, people are getting thrown in jail for serving beer while women show their breasts.
No, they're being fined $8,000.
I'm sorry, they're being fined $8,000, which is just as bad as jail, let's be honest. I mean, if you threw somebody in jail, their bail would be $8,000 for taking a fucking bra off in public. Would it? Should it? Can it? Will it? I don't know.
We're all going to jail soon.
Or everything's over, folks, I guess is my point. Because, I live in a world where I want to see women's breasts, and I don't want to pay $8,000 for the privilege. If a
women want you to see them.
What?
There are women who want you to see them.
I would imagine so. I would imagine that's something that they're doing. They're thinking to themselves, hey, if I showed these off, perhaps I could get money or something, or goods in return, services, a bag of grain. It is Idaho. I don't know. Perhaps they have to feed the livestock. So they're going to get a bag of millet so they can go ahead and keep the buffalo alive so they can live another harsh winter in fucking Idaho. Jesus Christ. You know what? Unleash the potatoes. That's what I say. That's what we should have in Idaho. They should have a burlesque show where women wear shirts that say unleash the potatoes, and then they take off their shirts and boom, there you go. And they got pasties that are like curly french fries or something. I don't fucking know. I'm spitballing ideas to try to save Idaho from itself. The fuck is wrong with you people up there? We know people up there. I think the Gilberts are up there. At least they were. I don't know. When I did a show in Denver, I think people drove from Idaho to come out and fucking see it. Perhaps Judd and Nicole are up there. I don't know. Perhaps they've moved on because I know Nicole likes to show her breasts in public. No, she doesn't. How fucking weird would that be if she did? And even worse, how weird would it be if I exposed it on the show? I told everybody now, hey, you know Nicole Gilbert, listener to the show? She likes to take her shirt off and show you her tits. When we went out to a fucking restaurant, boom, there they were. She's just swinging them around. I'm like, what the hell, man? And Judd's just like, she gets this way when she gets excited. She gets this way when she leaves Idaho. That's the thing. Once they hit the border, forget it. See, because in Idaho, she's got to wear 3 layers. Otherwise, she's going to get fined $8,000. But the second you cross over the state line, boom, Nicole's fucking naked and out the sunroof and going, check me out, world. These are Idaho tits that were harnessed up, but now I'm showing them to everybody. You know, Nicole listens to this show every week, and I'm guessing that this week she didn't go, I bet he talks about my tits in the first 5 minutes. That'd be fucking great. You know who else doesn't like that very much? Judd, I would imagine, her husband, who's like, what are you doing, pal? I apologize to the Gilberts for my discussion of their breasts. All of them. Judd's too. Judd take his shirt off too. You know what? I'm not discriminating. Perhaps Judd drove out of Idaho and he also went topless. They did that. They just stripped down to their fucking birthday suits. And they said, you know what? This is how we work when we go to Washington State. When we finally escape the oppressive Idaho people who are telling us that we can't show our tits to anybody. This is what we do. We go city to city, town to town, state to state, showing our tits until we get to the Idaho state line. And then it's parkas for all. Hi, Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast with a commentary on the fact that my friend Lily's business is going under. Everything's going under. Everything is finished. Everything's over except the shouting. Everything's over except the tears and goodbyes. No lullabies. If anybody can name that song, I will give them whatever they want. That's a lie. I don't have anything you want. I always throw that out there. I'm like, hey, name that song and I'll send you a download set. By the way, if I've ever said that to you and then you've sent me something and I've not paid off, let me know because I'm kind of dumb and sometimes emails get lost in the wash. Like I've gone back and looked at emails from like June of last year and it'll say, and someone answers some trivia question that I throw it on the air and they're like, I want year 1. And I'm like, I don't know if I fucking sent this or not. And then I don't want to write them and go, hey, did I send this?
Just do it when you get it.
Who the fuck would do that? That would be boring. That would just be silly. I like to discover it 7 months later and find out if I've gone ahead and lost a listener.
Why is the work so hard?
I don't like to do work. Who likes to do work?
No one likes to do work.
Exactly. So there you go. No, you avoid it. You just push it away and you just go ahead and you live your life and you skip and you say tra-la and you hustle through flowers and you laugh. And then you point at the homeless and you go, I'm going to be you someday. And then you go off somewhere else. And you look at ants and they're just fucking putting crumbs in their house. And you're like, ha. And you play your violin and you're like a grasshopper and you run around and you do your fun stuff. And you point at a cricket and go, sing me a song with those beautiful legs of yours. And he does, and you laugh. And you look at the ants and they're loading up their house for winter with all the goddamn food. And you're like, fuck all that. And you put on a fucking hat. And you go and you tell a wooden boy what to do when he gets turned into a real boy. And then you go off and you fucking do another thing. And you're like, I'm a grasshopper. And then it's cold and you know what you do? You knock on the ants' windows and you start a Kickstarter and they pay you. And it works out great. You start a GoFundMe. You get the ants to do a GoFundMe for you, and everybody sends you crumbs, and you're like, I can survive another 4 months. This is fantastic. There you go. That's a modern parable. If Aesop knew about GoFundMe, half of his fables would change. That fucking dog never would have dropped that bone into the river or whatever the fuck he did.
That's a book you need to write.
What, Aesop's New Fables?
I'll get my friend Angus to illustrate it.
Sure you will. Angus Oblong, famous illustrator, is going to illustrate for me for free. Not going to happen.
Well, not for free. We'll make a book and sell it, and that would actually be a great book.
We need to start a GoFundMe to get Angus Oblong to return my phone calls. Let's do that. I don't know what it will be. Well, he returns yours because you're important and impressive. But
sent me a Rolo because I had a headache.
Well, you can roll a Rolo to your pal. We know that.
Is that not the funniest?
You know it's chocolate covered caramel.
Fernanda M.
Our friend Heidi Miller, who I'm going to be seeing this week, because it's Podfest week, ladies and gentlemen. It is, as you know, it is. And I'm going to. I'll do that in a minute. But it's Podfest week. See, now you ask why I don't get any work done. That's why. Because I'm about to do something that's work related, and then I go, hold on a second. Guess what? This happened with candy. You know what I mean? It's like this is just a metaphor. This is an apt metaphor for my life. I should be telling you something pertinent to what's going to be happening, and yet I'm going to tell you a candy story instead. Once again, I choose the candy. That's how I live my life. No, Heidi is. She bought Rolos one time, and she sent me a picture. She goes, "I thought of you, pal," and I was like, "Aha, exactly."
That's really sweet.
Well, because I did a show once where I was talking about Rolos.
I remember. I was there.
And when I say once, I may have done a million shows about Rolos. I have no idea. My brain, there's like 30 facts that just keep getting rotated in my head. I think I've done Ants and the Grasshopper before. I think I've done Rolos before. I've got nothing else to bring you people. I'm on fumes. Literally, all I bring you is the same thing repackaged and repurposed. Although I've never talked about Nicole's tits before. Look at that. Look at we got that. That's new this week.
Poor Nicole.
They're back. She's just like, oh, dude. Now she's gonna stay in Idaho and they'll never get unleashed. But I'll talk about them.
I totally want to start the hashtag Unleash the Potatoes for all my friends in Idaho.
Do it.
It's killing me to not go post that right now.
Let's do it. Let's unleash the potatoes. Should we take a break? We can take a stop down here.
No, I just would do it, but it would distract you, and then you would be like, I need you here.
There's no
Even
doubt
though
it would
I'm
be.
right here.
Well, yes, but you're not. But not if you're unleashing your potatoes all over the fucking internet. Then you're not with me, really, because then I'm just talking to who? Nobody in space? It's become worse. I've become worse as this has gone on. I mean, in the beginning, I could just kind of talk.
Your obsession with my full intention of looking at you in the eyes through the whole show is now kind of creepy.
It is weird because it wasn't like that before, man.
No,
Before,
I know,
because
it's a very strange thing.
Well, I've put this weird pressure on myself now to where it's like I need.
Weird pressure on me.
Well, it's on me too. It's like because now I've made myself perform for you. And before I was talking stories and you were kind of here to just hang out. And now it's like I've put such import on your presence and activity within the show that it's changed me and probably changed the complexion of the show a little bit. Oh, dude, a dude just walked past my window and he had an old school Hot Rod t-shirt from like Roddy Piper with the fucking red trim on the sleeves. I want to go tackle him and take it off him and steal it. Let's go unleash that guy's potatoes and get me that fucking shirt. That's what I got to do. But yeah, man, I fucked up. And like in that I've put this weird, you know, I like you here. And so that's great. But then I've channeled into, I need you here and I need you to participate and I need you to do that.
Because it is not true.
Well, it's never been the case. No, because I can fucking talk and talk. I don't know why the fuck I've done that and made it that way. I don't know. This has just gotten worse. You would think after 10 years I'd just gotten better at this, but instead I've regressed and I've just gotten worse at it.
I don't think it's worse. I think it's different, and I think that there's a level of
I think it's a crisis of confidence in that if I'm not doing it and you're not laughing or paying attention, it's no good. And that's strange to put myself in that weird pocket. Because I don't get any feedback from people, or I mean, I guess I do, but not in the moment, certainly. I mean, and you're kind of the feedback. So I've made it in my brain. There's a lot of fucking navel-gazing, by the way. I apologize. Let's get back to Nicole's Tits and the Grasshoppers.
oh my God, Nicole's Tits and the Grasshoppers. That sounds like a great band.
That sounds like a really
Or
good
movie,
band.
an after-school movie.
Nicole's Tits and
the Grasshoppers. Oh.
the... Wait, you said it was a band or a movie?
I like the movie better than the band.
Nicole's Tits and the Grasshoppers? I actually like that. It's got to be something else, though. Like swinging Nicole's Tits and the Grasshoppers or stomping Nicole's Tits and the Grasshoppers.
Don't be stomping Nicole's tits.
No, it's stomping Nicole's tits. You're not stomping Nicole's tits. There is,
Oh, okay.
We.
Oh, commas are important.
Yeah, you need an Oxford comma, certainly there. It could. Well, how about the tits of stomping Nicole? But then that sounds like some sort of Shakespearean story that you should be there should be a rose trellis in there or something where somebody climbs into somebody's balcony or Cyrano's somebody.
Somebody understands somebody else's culture in that film.
Oh my God, certainly. The tits of I forgot the name of it now. Jesus Christ, the tits of stomping Nicole. That's what it was. Christ, I can't even imagine she's still listening, and she shouldn't be. Honestly, she should be gone.
She is, because I would be laughing hysterically.
Let's talk about somebody else's tits. Let's get this off of there. We can't.
Whose tits should we talk about now?
I don't know who else is married that would hate me.
Whose tits can we talk about now? That's my announcer voice.
That's a game show after on After School. Hi, I'm Mike. I do this show occasionally, and I do it well sometimes. And when I do the show all the time, but I do it well occasionally, I guess I should say.
We're talking about the podcast, and we're talking about a pal with a Rolo.
We were talking about Heidi, and I said I was going to see her this week.
Yes.
Because Wednesday, and I don't even know if I should do this, really. The Podfest is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As you know, I'm performing on Saturday. I'll be there involved in a show. It's going to be a little different this year. I'll get to that in a few minutes, I think.
Do it if you just simply say the teaser right now.
Okay. Well, see, but then that doesn't make any sense.
Just say the teaser and then talk about Heidi.
God damn your production skills. This week is the 40-year-old boy appearance at the live Los Angeles Podfest. 5 mics, 1 mic.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a teaser? You're goddamn right it is. Yeah,
That's
it is.
exciting. That makes people go, what is he going to say?
Well,
what does that mean?
Well, it's about time we got that. Nobody's been saying that up to this point for 9 years.
Exciting, then we'll get to that later.
Well, but I would have gotten to that later. I would have said the teaser later, and then there would have been even more suspense.
Just say the teaser.
5 mics, 1 mic. Take that and run with it for the next, 20 minutes, and then I'll tell you what it means. There's no real, it's not really a teaser. I'm going to tell them in like 15 minutes exactly what it
You
means.
won't tell them in 15. You're going to talk about Heidi.
Let's talk about Heidi's tits. No, terrible is that. Let's not do that.
Oh my God, Heidi's tits was the sequel, wasn't it?
It was. The tits of Rolo eating Heidi and her friend Mel. There's Heidi's tits and her best friend Mel.
Heidi's tits should be the porn version of Heidi.
You know what's funny is Heidi is so far behind on this show. She'll write me and she'll be like, "Hey, you got a divorce?" Like literally, it's that crazy. But she, like most everybody else, they have to listen in order. And by the way, hey Alessandro, if you're out there, buddy, he wrote me and he's like, "Hey, dude, I was downloading the show and then there was a moving accident, something I don't know, there's an earthquake wherever he lives. I don't have any fucking clue." He had an excuse, but he somehow lost some of the shows from this year. And he's very nice. And he said, "Hey, look, can I prepay for a year 8 download set, but you send me what I've missed so far?" It's like he needed episodes 1 through 9 of this year. Because there was a hard drive crash or he failed to download stuff. I don't fucking know, whatever. But, if you miss a show, let me know. I'll get it to you. I don't, you don't have to.
Make them buy the year. And you know what?
I don't make anybody do anything.
But you should let people buy the year. And they should just have access to all of them that way as well as through the podcast.
Well,
That's
yes,
wonderful
there's a
idea.
lot of things I should do. There's a lot of things that should be done. But basically, I told Alessandro, I go, "Look, man, if you want to donate to the show, go ahead. But here's the episodes." I sent them to him. Because, what am I going to do? Fucking go, "Yeah, give me $25. Because what if, from this point on, he hates it? Like, what if episode 17 through whatever the fuck,
What if you
he's like,
buy
I
a
fucking
movie
can't
and
stand
then
it.
don't like it. You buy your ticket and you take your chances.
Yes, well, Alessandro's a good guy and he's donated to the show in the past, so I didn't mind helping him out. I don't mind helping anybody out. I guess my point is write me and I'll do the good things.
Why don't you run this as a business rather than helping people out and avoiding answering emails?
Because it's not a business.
talk
There might
about it.
because
It
I talk
is
about
a
these people are my
business.
friends. Yeah, I guess it is
But
sort
it's
of.
still a business.
It's business to you.
It's still a business.
Yes, I understand that. But it's a show where I come out and I do this.
No, it's your show and your business. Stop acting like it isn't.
Yes, but there is nothing, no show, no any business without these people. And so I can occasionally throw a bone to somebody if they need a hand. Why? What?
How does he need a hand when he says to you, "Hey, I would like to buy your product in advance"?
Well, then let's fucking hang this on him. Do me a favor, send me $25 and go, "Hey, dude, I just sent this to pre-buy year 8." Because then I'm the bad guy now. I'm the one who has to
You're
go,
not a
"Hey,
bad
dude."
guy. When he writes and says, "Hey, I'd like to buy the season. Can I buy it early?" Your answer should be absolutely. Let me figure out how to set that up so that I can start pre-selling instead of post-selling. That's a wonderful consumer business advice. Thank you.
Yes, but if he
But
really,
instead, you threw him a bone by giving him the podcast.
well, if he really, you know why? Because you know what? Because its first taste is free. And then you know what? Fucking, And then you get hooked, and then you got to buy shit, and the next thing you know, you're listening to me behind a dumpster somewhere, and it's fucking fantastic. That's great. You just get your sleeves rolled up, and you're scratching your fucking arm, and you're listening to me talk about somebody else's tits in your fucking head, and you're like, oh, God damn it, I got to have it. And then you pay, and then you fucking pay. Everybody pays. Everybody owes. Everybody pays. But not really. Just send me a note and I'll send you something for free. Because who the fuck cares? I mean, I don't, it is a business and I care. I do. So when people buy download sets, but again, also, I still owe Stephen Pupkin download sets because I'm still trying to figure out the Dropbox and all that shit. I finally got Dylan his and it worked. But then I tried to send them to Stephen and they bounced back to me. So I'm still figuring that out.
What bounced back?
The Dropbox stuff came back and it said it was undeliverable. And I'm just like, how is it undeliverable? And I didn't know if it was the email. So I wrote Steven. I go, hey, dude, I'm sending these to you. But then when I sent them, they came back to me. It's long, a story.
But they don't come back. You got a bounced email notice?
Yes.
That has nothing to do with Dropbox. Make sure the email address is correct.
Well, it was because I had
You're
already...
not good at business, are you?
Nah, well, oh, you're figuring this out the fucking
my
now?
God.
You're just figuring this out now. How good am I at business? I just talked about a listener's tits for 5 fucking minutes. I'm the best at
That's
business.
art. That's not the business. The art is you doing this.
Yes,
The business
and
is
you know-
not giving away the product for free.
So it seems like I maybe could use a producer to corral this stuff and help me out with that,
I
but
produce
she's
the
so
show. I
fucking
don't run
busy.
your business.
I'm hanging it on you, man. This is your fault. This is
Oh
all
my
you.
God, be an adult.
I'm trying to be an adult. I'm really trying, but it's not fucking working. I'm not compatible with being a grown-up. I'm not. I'm still Mike Schmidt 1.0. There is no Mike Schmidt 4.0. And I'm not going to skip 2 and 3. I got to get there. I'll be an adult when I'm like 77. When I'm using a walker. That's when I'll be an adult.
You
When
set arbitrary deadlines. Be an adult now.
I can't do it. Look, I'm trying. Okay. Hey, look, I've kept a roof over my head for a while. I eat when I'm hungry. I mean, I guess I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm a grown up who fucking does that kind of stuff. I mean, right now there's yogurt in the fridge.
Survival. That is not a grown-up.
Well, it's grown up to survive. Because you could succumb. I could be one of these. I could be some fucking hobo out there right now, kicking a can down the goddamn street with a bindle over my shoulder, Jack Albertson fucking
That's
style.
Still just survival.
Yes, they're surviving in a bad way. I'm surviving in a good way. I'm the best. I'm the best survivor. I'm the champion. Nobody's putting my fucking torch out. I fucking run the show. I'm like that naked gay guy who won the first fucking season. Yeah, man, that's right. And now I can't wait to dodge my taxes and pay $1 million and go to fucking jail. Woohoo! But when I'm in jail, you know what I'll do? I'll talk about like Nicole's tits, and it'll be like that'll be like commissary money. Everybody be coming up and giving me their cup of soup so I can tell them a story about Nicole's tits. I gotta stop talking about that. Really, that's fucking embarrassing. No, I'm not kidding. That's like rude. I'm being rude now, so I have to stop. Well, I mean, if I just talked about like tits in the abstract, that's fine. But when you start ascribing them to somebody, then people go to their Facebook page. Ascribing them. Once you start ascribing them to somebody, then everybody goes, because again, if I'm like, tits, everybody's like, okay, cool. And then we go, well, no, this person's tits. Everybody's like, oh, man. And it's got to make her husband fucking weird and uncomfortable. It would make me weird and uncomfortable. I wouldn't like
They're
it.
fans of yours. I doubt they're weirded or uncomfortable about this.
Well, no, because I'm giving them free shit all the time. They're like, hey, man, we can't get mad at this guy. He keeps giving us free stuff all the fucking day. So I'm bad at the business. I can't believe you're just figuring this shit out. I told you this a million times. You know, I try to step up and I try to help and I try to send things to people and I want to answer and I want to do those things, but I feel indebted. I feel like to make Alessandro pay for 8 shows would be shitty.
But
I mean, they're
you
out there
aren't
for
making
free.
him pay for 8 shows.
Well, he's prepaying for, but now he can get the rest for free if he downloads in a timely
Doesn't matter.
fashion.
He's paying for the series because he missed some.
Which is why I said to him, I go, look, if you want to donate to the show, go ahead. I will send you these 9 episodes. But anyway, here's the bottom line of the whole fucking thing. He never confirmed. He never wrote me. He never said thanks. He didn't say a fucking thing.
That's because you didn't have a transaction. You did a favor.
I sent him the links and I was like, hey, dude, let me know that these arrived because you know what? I never know what the fuck is going on with Dropbox and Hightail. No, because I sent his via Hightail, which I still have a fucking contract with, unfortunately.
Why?
Because I couldn't cancel it because I had already prepaid the thing and they erased all the stuff because I never called them because that's business. I don't want.
Cancel them.
I
before
can't.
they
I already paid
recharge
them
you.
$200.
So what?
Well, then I'm going to eat the $200.
So what?
I don't want to eat $200. That's what you know what? That's what a bad businessman does. A good businessman goes all the way to the
No,
end.
A good businessman continues to use a product that doesn't work because he paid for it, rather than being done and washing his hands of it, so they don't recharge him.
It completely works, actually. It's just that they erased all of the stored audio I had. I can send any files I want via Hightail, and to me, it's much more effective than Dropbox. I like it a lot better. I think their interface and everything is a lot smoother, but The reason I was angry is because I had all of my links stored on there and they wiped them all to reset their thing. So I would have to re-upload everything, which is, like I said, at least a week of fucking just uploading.
It's not working. So why are you still using it?
Because I already paid for it. It's not like they're going to fucking give me back a chunk of
I've
it.
been doing it wrong for 10 years, and I'm going to do it wrong for 10 more.
No, I'm not doing anything wrong. They were fine until they fucking did this. And then I wrote them twice.
they
And
don't work
well, I had a
anymore,
fucking
is what
live
you're
chat with
saying.
them online. And their fucking robot Francois, or whatever the fuck his name was like, hey, yeah, I got to
Why
refer
are
you to another
holding
department.
on to a relationship with a business company that doesn't work?
It's already paid for. There's nothing I can do. Even if I cancel it, they're going to eat my money.
So what?
So I will go to the last day, and then I will cancel that last day, but I will use them up until
you will
then.
forget to cancel that last day, and they will charge you again another $200.
You know, I would normally disagree with you, but I just got charged $10 for Boingo Wireless that I bought when I was in Kuwait because it's a monthly fucking download that I forgot to fucking change. So I agree with you. You're right. I will probably get downloaded at the
So
$200.
Why don't you cancel both of them right now and walk away from them and not throw more good money at bad?
First of all, I don't have any good money. Second of all, you're right. I guess you're right. I should do these things. You know what I need? I need a promoter or a producer who would do those sorts of things and take care of business while I could just concentrate on my art. Or my lack thereof. I got no art. I got me and a
This
mouth.
is the second worst podcast ever. It's
pretty bad.
You and I arguing about business.
Yeah, it's pretty
Tell
bad.
me more about Heidi's tits.
Wait, what was the first? What's the first worst one? I want to know the worst one. What's worse than this one? There can't possibly be anything worse than this one, right? I don't know. Well, you know, I'm setting the bar lower and lower. Alessandro, aren't you glad you didn't pay for this?
Tell me about Heidi. What about Heidi in the podcast?
I'm seeing her Thursday because Podfest is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 mics, 1 mic. You guys know about that, right? And so that's going to be that extravaganza. And it's going to be, there's a show on Saturday night at 7. I'll get to all of this in a bit. But Heidi comes to town, and this is the way we've done it, is we've gone to sushi every year. She's coming on Thursday, and then Thursday night I will meet them for sushi, and it's totally fun. But this year she actually made a Facebook page for it, Sushi with Mike, on Thursday, and she invited people, and then people are responding, and people are coming to the thing, and she's going to make the reservation, whatever.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's a listener gathering to have sushi at a fancy little sushi house that we all like. And so I was going to throw the invite out to other people. Like I was going to go, hey man, because I asked you if you wanted to go because she wants you to go.
They can't on Thursday.
Understood, but I was going to throw it out to people and go, hey, you know, we're doing the sushi thing on Thursday if everybody wants to come by. But that's not my gig, man. I didn't set up the Facebook page. I didn't organize the thing, and I don't know if Heidi wants other fucking people there. I have no clue, so I shouldn't throw it out there because I was just about to and go, hey man, Thursday if you're in town, because nobody comes to town for Podfest that early on Thursday. I mean, if they're California people, maybe they're here and they want to go ahead and do the fucking sushi thing. But I know it's going to be me and Heidi and I think Mel and Kilt Bill and the Hanson brothers, and I don't know who the fuck else is in town, and I don't know who else she invited.
Well, then why don't you say this? If anyone else is in town, post it in the West Side 86 Jokers that you'd be there, and if it's possible, can you get an invite? I don't think that 1,000 people are going to show up and some weirdo. I mean,
Well, no,
listeners are
but she
all
has to
weirdos.
make.
It's awesome.
But see, right? You're right. We're all friends, right?
Yes.
So how can I charge these fucking people to go and send them something?
No.
See if these friends want to come out and hang out and meet with me and stuff.
For breakfast after the show with both performers and people who come to the show. That doesn't mean they get to see my tits for free. Just
Why
because
not?
after hours I am doing an event and socializing with people because I like them.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm socializing with people because I like them. This isn't a paid-for
Yeah,
dinner with
right.
me.
But that doesn't mean you should give your audio away for free. Your audio is away for free for 5 weeks, and if you don't download it or there's a problem, then you have to pay for it. That's the game. That's how the business is set up.
So you're telling me I just sent Alessandro 8 weeks of my tits for free?
Pretty much.
Good Lord, buddy. Where are you at, Di Stefano? I'm giving his full name now. Ridiculous. He's busy making frozen pizzas, apparently. He's a Baron, Alessandro Di Stefano. I mean, come on. That's right down there. And also, I can't trifle with that guy because maybe I sleep with the fishes if I give him the wrong fucking signal. That guy's going to fucking put me under. That's all. Anybody with a fucking 9 vowels in their name is going to put me out and wind me buried in his fucking cornfield like the Spilatro brothers. Just fucking get hit in the face with a shovel while Joe Pesci watches. Nobody wants that to happen. Fuck. I can't cross an Alessandro Di Stefano. I got to give him stuff for free. That's how it is. He's like the fucking dude in Godfather 2, the guy with that De Niro wind up fucking knifing in the hallway. Or no, he shoots him. Did he knife him or shoot him? I don't know. Max will know. But he's the big shot, the guy with the white linen suit and the fucking the thing. And he keeps taking oranges, and everybody's got to pay tribute. And De Niro finally meets him in a hallway with the fucking bad light bulb thing, and he fucking, I think he shoots him. Yeah, he shoots him because then he disassembles the gun and he throws it down all the pipes on all the roofs. Hi, I haven't seen Godfather 2 in a while, but I remember it.
What's his name again?
Alessandro Di Stefano.
California Uber Alice. That's what I
Alessandro Di Stefano.
That's what I was-
Alessandro Di Stefano. Di Stefano. Alessandro Di Stefano. Alessandro. Yeah, I get it.
I'm like, what does that remind me of? The way you were saying.
Alessandro Di Stefano. God, I love that when that happens, when you do something in your brain and it makes that connection. It's so
That's what
perfect.
We should do a podcast for everybody. You should sing their names.
Some mnemonic device.
Yeah, we should. Well, no, we should just take their names and figure out what song it is, and you can just sing them all during the podcast.
Oh, that sounds so. You're actually shooting to make the worst podcast of all time after this one. You think we can top this one? Me singing. That's literally all you have to say. Hey, Mike will be singing on this podcast. Guess what? I think I said guessed what.
By the way, I can't come to sushi for 2 reasons. 1, I'm busy, and 2, I'm allergic to almost everything they serve.
Well, that's true. But you've come there before, though.
Yeah,
We've been
I'd
there
like
before.
To come and hang out, but I can't. I can't this one. I'm sorry.
So that was the point. Was Heidi's going to be there Thursday, and I'm going to see her. There's going to be a gathering. So that's today, actually, because people are getting this show on Thursday.
The gathering.
Because right now it's Tuesday. It's the gathering of the Schmidtlos.
The Schmiddle.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. The Schmidtlos. All right. So hi.
You just made me snort.
I did. Well, finally. I mean, after we talked about business and tits forever, and now, sure enough, which is honestly, that's your life.
It is.
Yeah, it's pretty much your entire existence. So also, people are writing me, and they're asking me questions, and they're contacting me, and they're asking me a bunch of things, and people are writing me emails and writing on the Facebook pages and the Jokers page and on my regular page, and they're saying to myself, "Hey, Mike, how'd it go in court? Like, what happened, man?" And here's what I will say to you folks. You know, I was told by our friend Daryl, my lawyer. He said, "Hey, man, this is probably going to take. It might take as long as a week, but it'll probably only take a couple of days. I'll go ahead and take a look at the courthouse, and I'll try to figure it out. I'll look on the email, and I'll check online and let you know." Well, then our great friend Lily Von Stupp showed me how to do it myself online. You know, I can just go ahead to the courthouse website, and I can put in my case number, and it comes up, and it says yes or no or whatever the fuck. So everyone wants to know what happened. How is, did Cocksucker get my money? Did I win? Was there a triumph? No one knows. I don't know. So, but I keep going to check, and I will tell you this. As of right now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the answer. As of right now, certainly 25 minutes ago before we started the show, no adjudication in the matter of Cocksucker v. Mike Schmidt. There has been no results. The judge has not handed anything down. I don't know what the fuck he's considering. All I can tell you this is the fact that it's taking this long means terrible things to me. Like, I mean,
The court's backed up. Have you contacted the lawyer?
not yet, because I've waited. Well, because he told me it would be, a week's time, and so it's been a week, right? Was it Thursday that it happened? Yeah, because I had no, fuck no, it's been 2 weeks.
I know. Why have you not contacted your lawyer? Are you not good at business?
Do you want me to send you this episode for free so you can listen to the beginning of the show and answer that question? Because the answer to that question lies in the opening of the show.
When this podcast is over with, I'm going to make a note. Write your lawyer and ask him if he's received any information. Here's a note.
No, you need a Sharpie.
Here's a note.
Hold on, we gotta
Call
get a Sharpie.
your lawyer.
Where are the Sharpies? There's
Right
a
there.
Sharpie.
Where are the Sharpies? That should be the name of the show.
No, it shouldn't. This show's fucking awful. I think I'm going to stop it.
It's fantastic.
No, they got to stop the show in
People
cuts.
love it when we talk.
Nobody-
Because they hear me so clearly.
Oh, this is terrible. Honestly, folks, I apologize. See, come to Podfest this week, because then I'll talk, and then it'll be fun, and then you'll be like, yay, that's funny. Or buy the live stream and send me a thing. I'm going to plug all that later, of course. You literally
You know
wrote...
you can plug it now. You have this mindset of how the show has to go, and you can do a plug in the middle of the show.
How much do you fucking hate me? Seriously,
I
that you're
don't.
doing this.
I don't, but here's my question to you. Why do you think you can't do a plug in the beginning of the show?
Because I'm not Marin. I'm not selling people coffee before they hear the guest. Although I guess we're a half hour in, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
There's no guest ever coming.
Right, and there's no coffee to sell.
So no, but just by saying, here's the podcast, hey, you can do this and I'll see you then. It's a casual conversation. It's not a sales pitch. But you feel like it all needs to be at the end.
Well, that's how it works. There's the bulk of the show, and then there's the plugs at the end, right? That's just the way it should be. Because then people know when they can turn it off and they don't have to listen to the end of the fucking show. I like to have a courteous show for people so they can go, oh, this one's over. I don't need to listen to the fucking end when he tells me about the Amazon link again. Because I'll tell you what, when you weren't around, as you remember, for the last fucking 2 months, and I would...
You were out of town for a month.
Like 2 shows, I just did the plugs. Like, I basically, it was a full hour of content of me talking about the plugs and spinning around and then putting an old show at the end. So I did that, and honestly I kind of liked that. It was fun. It was like because I was just having fun and there was no pressure. This is so stupid. I put nobody fucking cares. God damn it, we did this in the beginning.
They do, and I'm asking the question because people do care. It's okay to talk about behind the scenes.
You just said this is the worst podcast we've ever done.
I'm teasing you, and you know that.
I really don't.
Oh my God, I'm totally teasing you.
I can't believe you hate this.
I think you're one of the smartest, funniest people in the world, but I think you put these boxes around that make you feel like you have to do this and you have to do that. You're just funny. Be funny. And
Well, I've
talk.
never felt that. I like I always said, on this show I talk till I'm done. That was always the way it was. And now for some reason I've put this
but you
weird.
also stop yourself sometimes from talking and going, "Oh, I'll tell you that later." Well, just say it. It's okay. And then when you come to the end, you can say the plug again. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, but I used to be really good at tying everything up, and now it's just like I find myself going, "I'll tell you that later," and then forgetting to tell people things later. Like in the first 5 years of this show, that was one of the things that people write and they go, "I have no idea how you kept all those plates spinning and then put them all away without breaking them," and that was the way it worked. But now I wind up because I'm not gonna lie, I've censored myself on this show for like a year or maybe longer. I just have kept myself because I mean the show's about my life, and I'm not vomiting all of my life out to you guys, and it's because of things. So I've done that, and so it changes fundamentally how I am as a performer and what I do because I have to. Normally I just fucking talk and I don't even think about it. And we're talking about Nicole's tits for 10 fucking minutes. How much do they hate me at this fucking point?
They don't.
And it's going to seem like when you listen to this show, you'll be like, well, that guy just he just has no filter. Because that was the whole thing. We called it no filter, no future. Talking at the speed of my head. Well, I'm on a 5-second delay because I'm stopping myself from talking and stopping myself from saying things
So
because
stop stopping.
yeah, that would be a great idea, wouldn't it? That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But in reality, you can't do that sometimes, and you have to go, oh well, I can't do that or I can't do this. And this show was never about can't. This show has never been about can't. This show has always been, fucking who cares? In the beginning, I was like, I sat down with Karen and I said, listen to me, I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff, and you're probably not going to like some of it. But it's just part of it, and you got to trust me on this because I'm the idiot and you're the hero. That's the way it's always going to work. Because I will tell it in a way that's truthful and yet does not hurt you. I will keep you in there and make it work that way. And she was like, all right, cool. I mean, she was like fine with it,
Yeah.
and she was happy for it. And then she listened probably for like, the first year maybe, and then stopped because she probably found me less entertaining in real life and probably didn't want to listen to real life me on the internet. I don't fucking know. But there was, because she used to write me notes. I would wake up in the morning on Thursday or whatever, or Wednesday because we were doing the show on Tuesdays. Then all that stuff, whatever. The day the show came out, I would be up until like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then I'd probably work security or whatever, and I'd come home and I'd go to sleep, and then I would wake up and she would be out, and there would be a note, and it would say, "Good job, Mr. Schmidt," and it would have, touched on this, talked about this, didn't talk about this. Like she did it, and it was a way for her to say, hey, I listened to the show and I liked it, and you're funny, and I love you. But then that stopped. And it stopped because, maybe she didn't listen to the show and maybe she didn't think it was funny and maybe she didn't love me. I don't know. But all of those things got put on the shelf. And then I would do the show anyway. And also, I also found myself talking more about her in context and making her crazier and kind of dealing with reality a little bit and talking about things that she did, but also tried to make it as funny as possible and spin it. But also it was guarded because I didn't want to betray her in a way on the air. So that's how I handled it in the beginning. But I still didn't I just fired away, man. I didn't have a safety on. I just fucking blazed. Well, I've had the safety on for a couple of years, and done that on purpose, and I'm doing it now. And that's so. Then
Will
you get
talk
me.
about what that safety was?
I will probably not.
Why?
Because
talking about it doesn't betray anything.
well, it kind of does.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, it does. So maybe next week I take the safety off. I don't know. I mean, I don't.
I don't think you have to take the safety off to talk about the safety. You don't have to say, I shot someone in the head, but you can certainly say, I haven't talked about the fact that, there was a gun incident. Do you know what I mean? That you're not betraying anything. You're not betraying anyone.
This show's always been about my life. And there's been huge chunks of my life that I can't talk about. It seems weird, I know, but it's a decision I've made.
A noble one.
Well, I hope so.
Yes,
absolutely. Because you can't. I'm no longer seeing Jill. You know, I was for a long time, and we were in love forever, and we were going to live together, and it was going to be happy ever after, and I was going to be 80 years old on the beach holding her hand and watching the sunset. And all of that is gone. It's gone. It's been weird for a while. She would disagree. But this is why I have the safety on. Because she would absolutely disagree with everything I would tell you. Like anything I would say, if I would tell you an incident, I would have, it's all from my perspective. And she and I had discussions about it. Because she would think it was unfair that I was telling my version of a story. She was encouraging, and she wanted me to do the show, and she loved the show, and she loved me. But sometimes we didn't. And so I, for a couple of years now, have not completely talked about my life because I did not want to hurt Jill's feelings.
So noble and kind and wonderful. It is.
Because Jill...
A civilian is an amazingly
But that's the
wonderful
thing. She's a civilian. Yes. She got sucked into a world that she didn't have any fucking clue what it was going to be. You know, she's got people she's never met asking to be friends on Facebook, writing her on Facebook, telling her they like her, telling her that she's cool, and they're so happy that she's happy, and they're so happy that we're happy, and thank you for making Mike happy. Like, she received notes from people about that because you guys are fucking great. Yes. And you care about me. And that's really cool. And then you and by proxy, you cared about us. And so you know me through my words, and you know me through Facebook and social media and Twitter and those sorts of things. Some of you really know me, okay? But anybody who knows me through the show, you know, you know who I am. But I've been hiding parts of me for a couple of years now because it wouldn't be fair to the other person involved to constantly talk about things from my perspective and have her get fucking crucified in the interim. Because, like I said, when I did the final show of last season, which was the year 7, and I talked about when we went to Minneapolis and everything had fallen apart and things, you know, she walked away from me, and I told that story. And, you know, the feedback for me was people writing me and going, Jesus, we didn't know that, and I hope you're okay. And from what she told me, the feedback to her was, he's using you, he's been using you a long time, good riddance. And she told me that, and I was kind of fucking floored because I didn't realize that I had listeners who felt that way, but I guess I do. But that's bullshit, because when the fucking story happened with Jill, the guy in the hot rod shirt just walked by. When, God, I want that shirt so bad. But when the shit hit the fan with Karen, and then did the divorce show, you know, it's no secret. I told you guys, I got emails telling me Team Karen, it's about fucking time she left. I mean, I got people writing that, got people writing it online. Writing in because there used to be forums about the show on other places when people cared, and people would go to discuss the show, and they would laugh at me, you know, and which was interesting to me because I was like, I'm fucking nobody. Like, I mean, there are so many more people in the world to hate. I don't know why I've made it. I'm the smallest guy on your hate list, and I guess maybe because I was easily accessed to hate. You know what I mean? And people didn't like me or what I did, and I didn't give a fuck about what I talked about, and I said that out loud because, I mean, it was like when I did the panel at the Podfest a couple of years ago, and I talked about advertisers, and I was like, yeah, fuck them. If they want to advertise on my show, that's great, but I get to say whatever I want. And Keith and the girl and those people were just like, what the fuck? Why? Like, why would you do that? And I told the story about when I basically had one guy, and I said he manufactured cum troughs that ran under adult bookstores throughout the United States. And they were just like, what? But he paid you. And I go, yeah, but it was an ad that lived in perpetuity on the show. But anybody who gets involved, they know that that's the case. And people, they thought I was fucking insane. And I was like, because this is the only thing I control in my fucking life. The only thing I have control of is this show. And for the last couple of years, I've ceded control of this show on purpose to be happy. Or for what I thought was a stylized version of being happy. You know, you guys, like I said, you see me on Facebook and you see me post selfies with Jill and you see me smiling, you see me happy, you see me traveling, you see all those things. And Facebook is kind of a lie. And I don't mean that in the full context. I mean, we did have fun. We loved each other. We went places, we traveled, and all of those photos were honest and true. And we did love each other, and we were happy. And so fucking happy until we weren't. But nobody puts a selfie up of their fight. Nobody puts a selfie up of the person's back as they're walking out the fucking door. And I walked away so many fucking times, man. I would pack a bag and she would tell me to stop and I'd leave. I'd just fucking dash out into the fucking snow, or I'd run, or I would lose my fucking mind. I spent most of my relationship with Jill running away. And I don't know if I'm running away from her, from us, or from me. But I was frustrated because I couldn't do what I wanted to do on the show, and I couldn't tell you how I felt. I couldn't come to you and say, oh, well, this happened, because I felt it would be unfair to tell the version where I am not the bad guy. I felt it would be unfair to tell the version where she may have done something wrong, by my perception. Because in reality, maybe she didn't do something wrong. Maybe my head's all fucking scrambled up and I did something wrong, or I don't know what the fuck's going on. But in the beginning, it was fun when I did it with Karen, because I just assumed I'd be with Karen the rest of my life and I wasn't concerned about her ever leaving. And then she fucking left. And I don't know if this show played a part or if just life played a part. I don't fucking know. Lily doesn't think so. Lily's like, well, that was over a long time before she fucking bailed. And yeah, it was. There's no doubt. I don't know if you guys, because people would always contact me and they'd hear slivers of it on air. They'd go, hey, are you okay? You know, it was so funny to have listeners who sort of knew me write me and go, are you all right? Like, what's going on, man? Are you okay? And I'd be like, yeah, man, everything's fine. As fine as I could portray it in public. You know, I mean, when Karen, you know, granted, it was a bad year before she split. It just was. I mean, I didn't recognize it because, as I said in the you know, the show where she left, I just lived the way I wanted to live, and I assumed we were together forever, and it wasn't ever going to change. So I could be as selfish as I wanted to be, and I could do whatever the fuck I wanted, and she wasn't going anywhere, and we were going to be just married because you got married and you stayed married. That was it. It's a very antiquated 1950s way to look at things, but that was the way it fucking happened. And I just decided, well, I've married her because I knew I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't going to do anything wrong. I wasn't going to do that. I was with her. Now, did I recognize that I was still doing everything wrong? No, of course not. Because I'm selfish and I'm a child and I'm still learning in therapy about what the fuck I've done wrong. Huh?
But you weren't doing everything wrong.
But I was doing a lot of things wrong.
There's no relationship that ends where one of you is completely at fault.
But I did things. I wasn't there for her through her can't. I wasn't, you know, and look, and here's the thing. This is the truth. This is the fucking truth. I haven't seen this person in 3 years. I don't know where the fuck she is. I don't know what she's doing. I have no clue. None. Does that hurt? Yeah. Did I hurt her? Yeah. Does that hurt? Fuck yeah. Do I carry tremendous guilt over it? I do. Did that cause a problem with me and Jill? It did. You know, she I can't speak to her life, but she never understood why I could still wonder or worry about Karen after we were split up. You know, I maintained a relationship with Karen at first. I think I told you guys about it. You know, I would text with Karen. Because her parents got sick. You know, her dad got sick, and her dad meant the world to her. Like he treasured her, and she idolized him, and he was good to me. Her mom was a fucking dope, but her dad wouldn't have hurt anybody in his entire fucking life. He was just a guy who had daughters and then lost a son and was sad about it. But he was a good man, simple guy, but. You know, looked at me with bemusement, couldn't understand me probably, but laughed and thought I was a good guy. And all he cared about was I was good to his daughter.
Yep.
And then I wasn't, and she left. So then he got sick, and, you know, her life kind of changed, and she had to go stay with her family, and she was kind of nursing him through whatever he was going through. And so she contacted me, and we were talking, and I was trying to get her through it, you know, and we talked and we texted about it and stuff. And Jill didn't like that. Jill, fuck. In the beginning of my relationship with Jill, I knew I loved her. I knew I loved her from the second I saw her. And I'm not even fucking joking. I walked out on stage in Milwaukee, saw her sitting there, and knew. She smiled at me, I smiled at her. She bashfully looked away, and that was it. I was fucking done, because when she looked away and moved her head, my heart went with it. And I was on stage frozen looking at her, and I hadn't even started the show yet. And in my head, I remember consciously thinking, you got to talk. You got a show to do, man. You better fucking stop. Because all I wanted to do was run down, scoop her over my shoulder, and run away. I've said it to her many times. I think I said it on another show, but it's the truth. I loved her from the second I saw her. That was inconvenient because I was married and so was she. Probably not the best time to instantly fall in love with somebody. And please, you know, all I knew her from was online before that. On Facebook, she liked the show. She donated to the show. She had exchanged an email with me where she was like, "Hey, if you're in town, you want to have a hamburger? That'd be fun." I mean, there was nothing. There was no prelude. There was no build up. There was no reach out. There was no, "Hey, I kind of like your photos. Hey, you're looking good." I mean, there was none of that ridiculous social media, fake Tinder swiping bullshit. She was just someone who listened to the show, and I was a guy who did a show, and she liked it. And something happened that night where it was lightning and thunder and a miracle. I don't know why. You can't explain those things. Maybe because I've never had it happen before. And I'm a needy fucking guy. I'm the kind of guy who, like, I would be on the road and I would sleep with a girl and I didn't want to leave the next day. Because I wanted to sleep with her more, and I wanted her to tell me how great I was, and I wanted to just suck out her fucking life essence and have some validation for who I was as a person. And I've been like that my whole life. And it's probably what I did to Karen in the beginning. You know, she got our first apartment as a surprise. The fact that she showered me with such love and affection, I'm yours. I'm a dog, and I'm a cat. You keep putting out a fucking bowl of milk, and I'm going to keep coming. As long as the milk is there. You stop putting out the milk, I'm going to go find milk somewhere else. And I know that sounds like an analogy for cheating, but it wasn't. It was just an analogy for attention and want and love. So I saw Jill, and I fell apart. That night after the show, she wouldn't talk to me. All of her friends and family would talk to me. And they came up and they were like, you know, and I was like, "Wow, what's up with, you know, Jill?" And they were like, "She's scared of you." And I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" Like, I get no, I'm here, I'm talking to everybody, and we're having fun, and I didn't know what it meant. And finally, she came up to me because I'm selling shirts and I'm fucking a sweaty mess. And she comes up to me and she kissed me on the mouth, which was bananas. Because I'm married and she's married. And oh, by the way, her husband's in the room. He's right there. Like, she kind of it was like we went for a weird, awkward hug, handshake, and then she kissed me on the mouth. And I didn't know what to do. And I was just like, oh, and I'm sure I played it off in some ridiculously stupid joke. And haha, we're all having fun here. This is great. But inside, I wasn't even in the room anymore. I was orbiting the fucking earth. Because I didn't know what to make of that moment, but I knew it was everything I had wanted in that moment had just happened. Had just fucking happened. But I couldn't betray that on the outside because I'm married and she's married and they're all there and I'm here. And I'm also here for the other listeners. I'm here for a show. And it's funny because, like, Casey and Hannah and Andrea, people are there waiting, and they're waiting to go to breakfast and they're waiting to hang out. And I didn't know what to do because all I wanted to do was pick up Jill and leave. I wanted to fucking leave with her. So we wound up talking, and she gave me a gift bag, which was fun, and I've talked about it on the show, and we were just friends. Like, we talked, and I met her friends and her family, and everything was great. And then she and we left together, and we wound up talking all night, and I was done. I was fucking done. You know, I left there on a plane, but left my heart in Milwaukee, which is a shitty place for your heart. Milwaukee, not a great place to leave your heart. But it was in her hands, and that's all that mattered. But she was married and I was married. There was nothing to do about it. We wound up talking. We wound up texting. We wound up being online friends. But I knew I loved her. I didn't know if she loved me. I didn't want to ask because who knew? But I knew. It was one of those things where I knew. I started trying to find ways to get there, to see her. This is not a good thing to admit. I was married. But I was married in I do only at that point. I think Karen was as done with me as she was going to be. She was just there. And I wasn't a good husband. That's another, again, tremendous guilt, because rather than try to work and fix it, I bailed. That's a lot of the emotion that you hear me talking about on the show the day after in the Almost episode. That's true. When I came home and she was gone, I didn't know what the fuck to do, because as much as I was in love with Jill, as much as I had given myself over to her and decided that I was never leaving Karen, I wasn't planning on it. I didn't think. But I had already left her. See, that's the thing. I had already left. Because I was Jill's. I knew it. And I knew it forever. But forever isn't coming. And again, it's not. I'm not going into details here. I'm not going into specifics. I'm not telling you this and that. And is that wrong? I don't know. I mean, my instincts are that I should, and I want to. You know me. You fucking know me. I want to do the autopsy. I want to fucking lay it all out. I want to fucking slice myself down the middle and have the fucking shark guts and license plates spill out onto the fucking pier and have Richard Dreyfuss clean his glasses and get fucking sick. That's what I want to do, but I can't, because it's not all my story to tell. There is another side. There is somebody else involved, and somebody who I love very much and don't want to hurt any more than I already have. I portrayed it, like I said, I said a lie, and that's a strong word. All you do is you show your good times, and so everyone assumes and they think everything is perfect, and you can fool yourself that way too. Everything's perfect till it isn't. And then, but the problem was I kept trying to convince you that it was perfect. And that's not honest. And that's not what I set out to do when I started doing this. There were a lot of perfect moments. And there were more times than not that I was content and happy, and I thought that was going to be the rest of my life. When I would sit on the couch and she would lay across me and sleep, and I would feel her breathe, I knew that's where I was going to be the rest of my life. I knew the rest of my life that's exactly where I would be. My hand on her never out of my reach. We had a mantra when we would fight. It was take my hand. And, that started to get ignored. I mean, it's just, I've read books. I've read websites. I've done whatever I could to try to fix me the best that I possibly could in order to fix this. But just as I can't tell you her side of the story, I can't tell you what efforts she made to fix anything on her end, or if she even thought she needed to fix anything. I don't know. All I know is I did love her the second I saw her. And I still love her now. But you can love somebody and not make it work, which is a weird thing to realize. It's a fucking weird thing to realize. Because you tell yourself, well, I'm in love, that's cool, and this is it, and this is the way it's going to be, and I'm never going to change it. But, I felt that once before. I thought I was in love with Karen, and I was married, and that was it. And then you're not. And in truth, I never fixed that. I went right basically from Karen to Jill. I mean, I fell in love with Jill while I was still with Karen. So I never fixed any of the fucking guilt and the shame and any of the fucking mistakes I made with Karen. I just packed them all up in my bag and I brought them over to Jill. Because the one constant in the failure of my relationship with Karen and the failure of my relationship with Jill is me. I'm not taking all the responsibility, but I also can't speak to the responsibility the other people have. All I can do is talk about me. And I know what I've done wrong, and I know what I need to fix. And I don't know if I have to be alone to fix it or what. I don't know. I don't fucking know. All I know is that, Jill's a regular person, and she doesn't need to be dragged out and But it also, that went against every instinct I had because I want to tell you fucking everything. I wanted to tell you everything for the longest time. Like I tell stories. That's what I do. I talk about my life. That's what I do. And I have taken bullets out of my gun now for like 2 years and not been able to tell you things because I didn't want to hurt somebody. And all I wound up doing was hurting myself. And I don't want it to make it sound like I've made a choice where I'm choosing honesty on the show over my relationship. That's fucking horseshit. I wish I would have had a relationship I could have been honest about 100% of the time. But I chose to protect someone who I didn't think needed to have all of our stuff out there for everybody. Because again, it wasn't mine, it was ours. And I love Jill. I love her sons. And I will miss them. And we were together for a long time, and I've hurt her with this show, and I know that sounds weird, but it's because I would, the arrangement I had with Karen in the beginning was, hey, I'm going to talk about stuff, and it's just going to be that way. And Karen was like, okay. Well, I didn't really give Jill that speech because I assumed that she had heard the show and she knew what I did, and she was going to understand. Until I hurt her with the show, and then she was devastated. And I was like, I didn't mean that. I mean, I was just talking. And then there were some shows that meant a lot more to her than others, and really knocked her on her ass. And I'd have to wind up explaining. And I decided, you know what? I'm never hurting her with the show again. I'm not. But that meant I couldn't talk about my real life. Because I'll tell you what, whether it was a capital punishment crime or jaywalking, if I talked about it, it hurt her. Because if it was something terrible or it was something small, she added equal import to both. And I found myself homining and trying to explain to her what I meant and what I really meant to say and what I didn't mean, and I didn't want to hurt her, and it didn't matter. She was hurt. And so I made the conscious decision to not hurt her, to save my future and make my life better and make sure that I kept what I wanted and kept what I had. But it was false. It was fucking false, man. Because I don't have that. I didn't have that. Because if I couldn't be me and I couldn't be honest, then I didn't have her. I had some stylized, idealized version of us and her and a future and smiling. I was dating a Facebook selfie. And relationships are fucking messy. Particularly when I'm involved. Because I got news for you. My relationship with me is fucked up. Bringing another person into it is off the charts weird for me and for them. And we would have fights, and I'd say to her, well, this is me. This is me. You got to give me a few minutes. You got to realize this is me. And that's selfish. You can't fucking do that. But there were also times when she would be her, and she would be her, and she would be her, and I would try to fucking deal with it, and I would say, hey, look, you're doing this, and and man, off we fucking went. I do love Jill very much. She was Catfight Jill. And then I created Podcast Jill. But in truth, she was just Jill. And she was my Jill for a long time. And she's not my Jill anymore. I woke up this morning and I went online, and there was the story that broke about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie getting a divorce. And I saw it on Twitter, because the first thing I do is I'll go to Twitter and I'll look at what's trending and see what I missed while I was asleep, and that was out. And my timeline was filled with jokes and filled with takes and filled with everybody making fun. And probably because of where I'm at in my life right now, I found nothing funny about any of it. I was actually weirdly devastated. Because for years they've been married and they've created an empire and they've brought in children to try to make their lives better, and they've been like a rock wall. The two of them are like a rock wall, and snark and gossip and tabloids have just been the ocean, smashing into them day after day, week after week, eroding whatever they had. And it finally collapsed. And everybody laughed. It's not funny. It hasn't been funny the times it's happened to me, and it won't be funny when it happens to me again. And I know I've done a show here telling you that I couldn't tell you things and then not telling you things. But I'm not the only one involved. You know me. I want to talk, and I want to tell you everything, and I'm not. And I apologize for that. Probably shouldn't apologize. It's a show. You're involved. You know. You get it. I guess you get it. But Jill's been good to me for a very long time. She's a good person, and she deserves all good things. And I love her. And I just want her to be happy. And I know you guys want that because you're invested. You know, you care about me and you care about the show, and Jill arrived and you cared about her. I know. You told her. So I'm going to ask you to respect her privacy. Obviously, I can't control you guys. I don't know what you're going to do, and I don't know if she wants that. I don't know anything. I just don't want anybody to get blamed here. I love her, she loves me, but sometimes things don't work. I just want her to be happy. And now, let's talk about Heidi's tits. Look, they don't have to be Heidi's. I don't give a fuck. Seriously, you got tits? Let's talk about them. Lines are open. You guys can get me at MikeandMikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friends at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy, where all of the pictures are honest. You can be my follower at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can go to Instagram and look for me under Mike40YOB. That's Mike40YOB, and follow me on there for pictures and stuff. Our great friend Dave Hernandez does all the artwork for this show, and I don't know what he's going to do for this show. I can't wait to talk to him and have this discussion. Because that's the thing, I haven't talked to anybody about this really.
Well, Shannon.
Well, yeah, Shannon. Yeah, she heard about it. And I won't lie, I talked a little bit about it last night on stage because it's what's in my fucking heart and what's in my head, and that's all I want to talk about. It's literally all I want to talk about. That's why the beginning of this fucking show was business and nonsense, because I did not want to talk about it, and then I just went, fuck it. You gotta. I can't not. Double negatives are fun. Dave Hernandez does all the artwork for this show. You can find him at Facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez and be his friend there, be his pal. You can go to artbydmh.com, ARTBYDMH.com, and get him on board with doing you some personal artwork and paying for it. You got to pay for it. You can't just get him to do a personal sketch. Got to cough up some green and he'll be there for you.
Because he runs a business. He doesn't just give them away.
Wouldn't know about that. No clue. You can find our friend Ryan Dirks, who does the web stuff for this show, at Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Become his friend. The producer of this show is my great friend Lily Von Stupp. She's here now. You can get her. You can go to her Facebook page at Facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp and see all the fun things that she's got going on in her life. You can follow her at several different Twitter accounts: Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, Twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, Twitter.com/MNTs, and Twitter.com/Boobdini. But if you'd like to write her a personal note and find out just what color of skin you need to have to wear a brown skin colored suit and get into that fun debate with her, you can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
This never was one of the great romances, but I thought you'd always have those young girl's eyes. But now they look in tired and bitter glances at the ghost of a man who walks around in my disguise. I get the feeling that I don't belong here, but there's no welcome in the window anyway. And I look down for a number on my keychain, 'cause it feels more like a hotel every day. There's a stranger in the house, nobody's seen his face, but everybody says he's taken my place. There's a stranger in the house no one will ever see, but everybody says he looks like me. And now you say you've got no expectations, but I know you also miss those carefree days. And for all the angry words that pass between us, you still don't understand me when I say there's a stranger in the house, nobody's seen his face, but everybody says he's taken my place. There's a stranger in the house no one will ever see, but everybody says he looks like me. Everybody says he looks like me.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Tease every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It is a fantastic burlesque show. It was going on last night, as a matter of fact, when I was in the building. I'll tell you all about that later. Well, I mean, I apologize. It went on after I was in the building. I left, and then it went on. Who cares? You don't care where the fuck I was. The producer of that show, huh?
They care.
Oh, they care. Everybody cares. So, all right. Well, I was there until my show ended, and then I bailed, and then I went to the
You're a
Oinkster.
good friend.
Well, I went out to eat with our friend Erica. I'm a good friend to you. Well, what are you saying? I should have stayed?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
You
I didn't...
never stay for my shows anymore, ever.
Well, no, I don't. Maybe that'll change going
You're
forward.
never even in them anymore.
Maybe that'll change going forward. Who knows? But I can tell you that last night well, whatever. Who the fuck cares? I understand it was a great show. The producer of that show is my great friend, my sister, my friend, my pal, the love of all of your lives. Please welcome Lily Von Stupp. Hi, Lily. How are you?
Are we going to talk about my tits now?
If you want to. Well, you just had to sit through that fucking awkward show. I'm happy that you were here
I
for
don't
whatever.
think it was awkward. I think you were very respectful and very kind.
I
I think you've been very respectful and very kind on this show, and I love you for that.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Jill is not a bad person, and I think it's really nice that you're not the kind of dick that goes, fuck all of this and burn it to the ground. You've grown. I've seen you grow.
Well, I've tried to grow. You know, I mean, the reason I went to see Shannon was because of Jill, and that sounds weird. I don't mean it like that. Because I wanted to be better for Jill. I wanted to go and learn about why I was that guy who did those things, and I'm still that guy who does some of those things, and I still make mistakes. But you know, you try to learn, and I hope in the journey we've had on this show here in year 9, you've all seen me learn a little, at least. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I just did another fucking sad show where a chick left. So I mean, who the fuck knows?
But I don't think breakups are always sad. I think breakups are also very hopeful, because if things aren't working, you now have the option to find something that is.
Well, I can tell you that breaking up is hard to do.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Well, no, I mean, it is.
And now I
breakups
know
are
that it's
hard,
true.
But you come out the other side usually stronger and wiser.
Nah, not planning on it. I'll come out the other side. I don't think Stronger and Wiser will
I'm
be
divorced
involved.
twice.
That
so,
you are, sure.
Yeah.
I'm now divorced twice too, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Which is that's no good.
But it is because, again, you know, I'm a serial monogamist in a way, even though I'm polyamorous, which sounds really weird, but I believe in long-term-ish commitments. I don't think that you can find a soulmate and live the rest of your life with them, really. I don't.
I did.
It's so rare.
I did, and I do still hope that. You know, you're hoping.
But again,
That's the whole point of getting involved with somebody.
well, no, the point of getting involved with someone is because you want to spend time with them and grow and love and learn and experience.
And as you do those things, you go, I can see myself being with this person for the rest of my life.
Until you can't.
Right, and that's
then
what's
it
happened.
happens.
But you were still in it, but you're hopeful and you're trying.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. You found yours in
I know,
Eddie.
But I don't know that.
But as far as you know, you have. And you feel that all of your eggs are in the Eddie Medrano basket, and that's fantastic. And so it's easier for you to speak from that point than it does from being an alone point. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I'm also in an open relationship where we don't put conventional stereotypes and pressures on each other for what we expect of each other. Whenever the pressure
What's this
is-
now? You didn't put pressures on one another for expectations of one another?
Yes.
That sounds completely foreign to me.
Yes. That happens.
Here's what I do. I put expectations on that person, and I put expectations on me then. And it just turns into a vice.
Yes.
You're just your heart and your body are in a fucking vice. And you're just getting squeezed more and more because you're going, well, I'm being disrespectful. Well, what about this and that? And I'm going to talk a lot
Because all
now.
the fears and problems come in that way. I don't
Yes.
have fears or problems because I know that tomorrow if Eddie came to me and said, this isn't working anymore, it would be heartbreaking. But I love him more than to force him to stay with me. If he's
Well,
unhappy.
and I understand. I don't want to force anybody to do
Yeah,
anything.
and
But
that's why I say breakups are not necessarily terrible. They hurt terribly at the time, but if it's not working, you can't force things.
yes, but this is terrible. And I don't want to go into it.
I understand that it hurts.
How was the show last night?
It was spectacular.
That's the Monday Night Tease, by the way, in case I haven't talked about it, the greatest burlesque show in history, where and you know what, nobody breaks up at that show. Everybody goes and has a great time and enjoys themselves, and they see people on stage.
There's been a ton of breakups there.
Okay.
There are times that I can't even book the show because dancers were dating other dancers and they don't get along anymore, or so-and-so is now dating so-and-so's ex, and oh Christ, the drama.
Shocking.
The drama backstage.
Well, how was last night? Was it drama free?
Yes, actually it was.
And how did it go? Went good? You had Yachty was there for doing a
Yachty
duet with
did a
you.
burlesque debut with me. The two of us did Sisters from White Christmas together. It was hysterical. We had Matt Finish in town, who was the Mr. Exotic World 2015.
You little pocket-sized guy.
He is. A little pocket-sized guy is right.
Little keychain.
His boyfriend Jake was MC, did a wonderful job.
Nice.
Great.
Very good.
Desiree D'Amore was in town. We had Kirby. It was a great show. It was really fun.
Kirby?
Kirby La Brea.
Oh, Kirby La Brea.
Reigning
Not
show.
Kirby, that Asian cartoon, like Hedgehog, or looks like a Pikachu. Oh, okay, just thinking. Well, good. I'm glad it went well. And so who's at next week's fantastic show?
The reigning Miss Exotic World, Poison Ivory, is in town from New York City.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So Poison Ivory, do we have more of a lineup, or just is that enough to get people in the door?
We have the original Mr. and Miss Hollywood Burlesque. We have Sheila Starciani and Bobby Burlesque. We have Kirby La Brea. We have Egypt Black Nile. I mean, the list is just...
That's a crazy list.
It's
And I've
great.
seen Egypt, and she does that black sweat thing, and I forget about it.
Egypt just took 7 different titles over a weekend event.
Wow.
She took assels and tassels and sexiest and fiercest, best performance and pinup and so I can't.
Now
even remember
she's
the other
there, and then, Poison Ivory's your headlining person, but then there's an Egypt Black Nile as a back. You walk up to the bar, you're like, hey, give me a Poison Ivory with an Egypt Black Nile back. You knock those down, and you're fucking pussy drunk for hours.
one. That would, yeah. I gotta tell you, it's gonna be a fucking amazing show.
God, I love being pussy drunk. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Pussy drunk?
Oh, I'm a fan. I can't. All right, again, I just said I'm not going to say anything about her. All right, so good. The show's fantastic, and tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. You can go and check those out. Go to facebook.com/Monday Night Tease and see all of the people coming and pictures of these people we've just mentioned. And
If you don't have plans for Hollywood, or for Hollywood, if you don't have plans for Halloween and you're in Hollywood, we're doing a Halloween show with 3 shows and an open bar, so get tickets for that too.
Dude, 3 shows in an open bar, Halloween night. It's actual Halloween night. Yeah, Monday's Halloween is a Monday. So, and I think I'm in town. I don't know. Perhaps I'll wander in. Who knows?
Love that.
Unless I'm out in my brown skin suit collecting candy, like I know you're a fan of.
I hate you right now.
So
I
that's.
just want to yell at you right now. You have no idea.
Oh my God, that'd be great. But you're dyslexic, so you're gonna lay at me. So that's our great friend Lily, and she does the Monday Night Teas. And Halloween night tickets are available now. BrownPaperTickets.com. Put in the name Lily Von Stupp. Put in Monday Night Teas. Whatever you do, it's going to come up, and you're going to buy tickets for this week's event. Like I said, with Poison Ivory and an Egypt Nile back.
Egypt Black Nile.
Egypt Black Nile back.
Nile back.
Yeah, an Egypt Nile
Egypt Black Nile back.
Yeah, but I meant an Egypt Black Nile back. There you go. And then a Bobby and a Sheila and the whole 9 are there. Or also go to the Halloween show, which is in a month and a
Come to
half.
all of them.
Dude, just make yourself a regular at this joint. I think they serve food now, from what I heard.
We do. We have food.
Well, I found that out last night because
Tater tots.
we did, that's what I heard. We had the 2020 show there last night, which was fantastic. Our great friends Carmen Morales and Lisa Curry. I should say new friends. I didn't really know them very well. I met Cameron at a breakfast, and then I had heard she was very funny, so she reached out to me, and I'm like, I'd love to have you come. And then Lisa Curry was also there, and she was in town from New York. She's filming, I think, for a special. She was getting her stuff together. So it was great that they were there and joined me last night. Carmen Morales was there. Lisa Curry was there. And all of you regulars were in the audience, Kilt Bill and Erica and our great friend, because I went out with Erica afterwards and her family. And we went to go to the Oinkster, and we wound up having, I had a half a pastrami sandwich.
Went to the Oinkster?
Dude. You ever go to the Oinkster?
I did.
Holy Jesus, it's good. But I had half of a pastrami sandwich, and then I let them take the rest because, I mean, it's one of those, it's a fucking bomb. Like, you'll never get it. Dude, the other night, I was driving. I was out super late. There's a place called Birdie's in downtown L.A., and I had read about their chicken sandwich, so I just happened to be down there, and it was 4:15 in the morning. They're 24 hours on Friday and Saturday. So I pull in. There's literally just a guy with a broom. It's like Carol Burnett's in the fucking lobby. There's nothing going on. So I walk in. I'm just like, hey, honestly, if I order food, is it fresh, or have you got like a pile of chicken sandwiches back there? He goes, no, man, absolutely. Everything's made fresh. I said, great. So I bought, they had a Birdie's breakfast sandwich, and it's a big fucking chicken breast with egg, bacon, cheese, and this fucking sauce on a brioche bun. Oh, don't make that face. So then they had that, and then they had an original sandwich, which is chicken with pickles, cheese, ranch, this homemade buttermilk ranch and this stuff. And I'm like, fuck, I can't decide which. And I was starving because I hadn't eaten all day. I go, give me one of each. And I mean, they're $9 each. They're like that. They're those kind of sandwiches. He gives me the bag, and I go to lift it up. I'm like, I can do curls with this fucking bag. But I got home, and I'm like fucking half asleep, but I was so hungry. So I sat in my chair, and I put the cold one, the buttermilk one, in the fridge, and I ate the one with the egg. And first of all, I will say this: it's supposed to be an over easy egg, over hard. So there's no yolk running out of it, which is like that's literally half the battle, but still crazy delicious. And then 2 days later, I ate the other chicken sandwich. I had it lurking in my fridge, and you eat it cold because it's cold fried chicken with like cold pickles. Dude, fucking great. I don't know why I'm telling you this fucking story. Jesus Christ. Because I haven't had lunch. That's why I'm starving now. How do we get there? Oh, 2020, because I went for the Oinkster pastrami sandwich. Fuck, nobody cares. So last night was fun. We had a great show, and we're dark in October, but there will be a show in November. I don't have any comics booked yet, but hey, man, this show's starting to be kind of fun. So if you guys came out and hung out, that would be fantastic. And there are regulars. Tommy comes, and Bill and Erica.
Call him Tommy.
Tommy.
Tommy the Mensa.
Tommy the Mensa guy. So they came out, and it was just, it's kind of, we've got a regular base of audience people that come, and then we try to get some more people, which is great. But you got to go?
I do.
No, dude. Well, let me announce this. Can I announce this? She's going to go, and I'll finish the plugs because I kept her here long this afternoon because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to talk about. The Los Angeles Podcast Festival is this week, folks. And, the drill. I usually do the show, and then I sell it. It's me telling a story, and I can't decide what story I'm going to tell and all that kind of stuff. Well, let's just tell you this story real quick. I was out getting a car wash a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a car, and I recognized it. And I recognized the license plate, and I'm like, fuck, I haven't seen this guy in fucking forever. So I go and I pay for my car wash, and I walk out, and his car's gone, and he's gone. He was only like one car ahead of me, and it takes like 45 minutes to get the car washed. So I'm like, where the fuck did he go? So I texted him like, dude, I just saw you. Where did you go? You disappeared. I'm disappointed, but I guess they gave you the fucking celebrity wash, and you bailed. So 20 minutes later, my phone goes off, and it's him, and I look, and he's on the side. There's his car. It's like they hit him to the side, and they're washing his car. So I go up to him, and he gives me a huge hug. He's like, where have you been? Fuck, I haven't seen you in forever, and we talk. And I say, he's like, man, are you still doing the show? I said, yeah, how about you? And he said, oh, yeah. He goes, we're fucking busy as hell. I said, great. Let me ask you something. What are you doing in a couple of weeks? He goes, well, I don't know. It depends on the day. And I go, it's a Saturday. He goes, well, Saturdays are usually pretty good. I go, well, look, Saturday night on the 25th, I'm doing a show at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. It's a live show. So I'll have people in the room. If you wanted to come, we would talk and have fun on stage, and then whatever else you wanted to do, you would do. He goes, that's amazing, because you know what? We got a new thing we want to debut. We can probably debut it with you at the fucking show, because I know it's going to be a great time. And I said, all right, well, then I would like to have you. He said, great. Hit me up with a text. We'll figure it out. Well, you know me. I texted him a couple of times. He answered vaguely. Like he was like, I was like, hey, I know that might have been just parking lot talk, but if you were interested, I'd love to have you. And he's like, no, man, let me see if my schedule works or whatever, and we'll figure it out. And that to me is a no, because I'm that guy. That's usually who I am. So I waited, and then I just texted him today, and I was like, look, I'm just going to give you the final shot here. If you want to do it, it's Saturday, and I need to know tech stuff. And he wrote me back, and he goes, I'm fucking doing it. Let me see who I can get, but I'm definitely going to be there. So here's me telling you this now, folks. At the Los Angeles Podcast Festival, our great friend Jesse Harnell from Rock Sugar is going to be joining me on stage. And hopefully he'll bring Chucky, and he might bring Mickey, and he might bring the couple of them, but there's going to be guitars, and there's going to be music, and we're going to fucking laugh and joke around on stage, and they're going to sing, and we're going to do voices, and we're going to have a great fucking time. So tickets are available still for the Podfest. If you want to use my streaming code, that's 40-year-old boy, 40YOB. Use that code for streaming, and again, send me your name, and I will work you somehow into the fucking show. I don't know how, but if you want to buy tickets, then come out to the show, because I would love to have a big room packed for these guys, because it's fucking beautiful. I mean, I've literally, you know, Lily and David have been on the show, but I've only had one, and Eric too. I've only had one guest, technically one guest, and that was the guys from Rock Sugar. It was Chuck and Jesse from like episode, I don't know, it was the final episode, I think, year 2 or year 3 from Your Old Place. And he right away, he said to me, he's like, hey man, I want to do your show again. Like that was why I asked him. So I said, fuck, if you want to do it in a couple of weeks, that'd be cool. All right, Lily's slipping out. I'm going to say goodbye to her, walk her to her car, and I'll be back. You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy, and later, what the fuck happened to Kathleen Turner? EJ and Joaquin debate an actress who fought the War of the Roses and obviously lost.
Did you ever hear about that band?
What band?
They were called Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
Oh, you know, I did hear about that.
You know, I heard they had to split up because they had a picture of Kathleen Turner her face on their bass drum.
Yeah.
And then when her head got all big and puffy, they couldn't get it to fit. So that they try to get a new bass drum, but they don't make bass drums big enough to fit her head on.
They should have bought a gong.
What the fuck happened to Kathleen Turner? Find out on What the Fuck Happened to Kathleen Turner on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network.
What's bigger than a gong? And now back to the 40-Year-Old Boy. Already in progress.
Lily is tucked safely into her car. I am back at the desk solo by myself closing out this show. But please, you know, like I said, Los Angeles Podcast Festival this weekend. Check it out. Our great friend Jess Harnell will be there. And, you know, I'm saying music and stuff. I'm hoping, you know, I told them, I go, hey, bring guitars. They want to sing. We want to debut stuff, whatever. Hopefully Mickey and Chucky are coming, or just Chuck, or any of them. But I know Jess will be there, and if it's just me and him, we'll have fun. Me, him, and Lily will be on stage talking and having a great time. So use the streaming code 40YOB for streams, for tickets, and thanks to everybody who's done that so far, and let me know what's what. And remember, if you do it, send me proof that you did it, and we'll mention you on stage. We'll figure out a way to tuck you in the narrative. I'm going to tuck you into the narrative, man. How's that sound? So I'm lost of what we plugged so far. We talked about the teas, and we talked about the Podfest. We talked about 2020, how well that went. Let's talk about this. You know, the show is sponsored by MileIQ.com. That's MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. Use them for all of your tax-saving needs and all your mileage and that kind of nonsense. MileIQ.com/invite/HFVHB. If you use it, let me know, so I know I've got a $25 gift card coming at some point. If you want to be a Lyft driver, go to Lyft.com and use my code MIKE. And that's all caps, 720057, MIKE 720057. And while you're there, tell them to reinstate my fucking car. These jagoffs are fucking with me on insurance and a bunch of nonsense because, you know me, I'm a failure. I have to haggle over this kind of stuff. If you want to be an Uber driver, and oh my God, who does not? Go to Uber and look for driving. Use my code, and these are all lowercase, DJZW1YTTUE, DJZW1YTTUE. And let me know if you do sign up for that so I can keep track of your rides and figure out where you're at, because I get a bonus of like $500 if you do 50 rides in a month and something like that. I don't even know. But if you're going to do it, let me know. And it all depends on what city you're in, too. LA is a different story, but I've had people in Baltimore and Minneapolis and other cities do it, and it's all different all over the world. all over the planet. Speaking of the world, hey, I was in Kuwait. I should probably talk about that at some point. Jesus Christ. This week got a little bit away from me because real life interfered, as you heard if you've listened to this show. If you didn't, if you just jumped to the plugs, well, good for you, because earlier I was speculating people just jumped. They listened to the show and then they kicked the plugs off. They didn't listen to them. They bailed before them. But maybe you bailed. You don't listen to the meat of the show. You just come for the plugs. Maybe you just like hearing people talk about the things you need to buy and look at. So good for you. Thanks for coming. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and go to the Joe Business page. We've got T-shirts. The Yurt Dirt Dirt shirt is available. There's a couple of mystery shirts left. We've got download sets 1 through 7. And I will tell you this now. This is kind of funny. Remember I talked about Alessandro Di Stefano and putting a hit on me and all that kind of stuff? I talked about that earlier in the show. Well, then I walked to Lily to her car. Lily. And then I came in and I checked Facebook. Like fucking 2 hours ago, Alessandro Di Stefano wrote in the Joker's page about how he'd like somebody to please send him the links to the episodes because he'd be willing to pay for it. I'm like, dude. So I wrote, I go, dude, I sent these like 4 days ago. Send me an email and we'll figure it out. So I don't know if he did that or not, but that made me laugh that, I'm fucking basically telling the guy, hey, you dick, why didn't you thank me? And then it's because he didn't fucking get them. I sent them the other day. I'm not good at the business. Did you listen? Oh, but wait, some of you didn't listen at the beginning of the show. Earlier in the show, we talked about how I'm not good at the business. I know you guys are just here for the plugs. Also at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, like I said, year 1 through year 7 download sets are available. All the live stuff. And I will tell you this, I don't think we're going to sell Podfest. I should talk about that now. I usually sell Podfest after the fact. Hey, man, if I got guests and stuff, I don't feel right selling it. I'll talk to Jess and see what they want to do because they may not want their image or their voices used. And if they do, they get a cut of it, obviously. But I probably will not sell it because that just seems gauche, man, to capitalize on what they're doing. So I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll tape it and I'll figure it out. Unless they say, hey, dude, just go ahead and sell it or whatever they want to do. But right now, if you want to make sure you see Jess Harnell and me on stage having fun at the Podfest, buy the live stream and use the code 40YOB. And that would be your best bet because I'm telling you right now, I have no plans to sell it because if I've got guests, that means I got to send releases and then I owe them money and it just doesn't feel right. They're doing this out of the kindness of their heart. And I don't want to capitalize on that. So go ahead and use the live stream for OYOB and check it out, and we'll get money that way. That'll be fun. And who knows? Maybe it'll change. Like I said, I'll fucking talk to the guys and see what's up. Maybe they'll get a couple of bucks. Maybe they won't care. I don't know, man. I haven't discussed anything with them because I don't know if I told you this. I'm not good at the business. While you're at the Joe Business page, please remember tweakedaudio.com is our friend. Use the 40YOB code or the 40YOB page. And then use the Amazon link. That's very important, folks. If you use our Amazon link, it is fantastic. We get something, you get something, they get something. You get stuff, they get money, we get money. It's perfect. It's a great triumvirate. Look at that. It's a triangle. It's a perfect triangle. Look at the isosceles relationship I have with you and Amazon, folks. So please do that. Or maybe go inverted triangle. Maybe we go to a couple of those. 3 inverted triangles. We go pentagram. Or 3 triangles is a pentagram, right? We go pentagram. You know what? Do that. We go 3 triangles, pentagram, and then go buy $666 worth of stuff, and let's see who makes the money. I get money, they get money, you get stuff. Again, a perfect relationship. Look at the 3-way we're having. Look at the threesome we're having. The 3 of us, me, you, and them. Please use the Amazon link. What you do is you click through to the Amazon store, which I should probably build at some point. And then in the upper left-hand corner, you click on Powered by Amazon. That gets you into Amazon, and you're using our link, and all the stuff you're buying works out, and you get stuff. We get money, they get money. It's perfect. And now I'm off to drive tonight on a Tuesday after recording. Because here's the thing, I liked to take Monday and Tuesday off, and then I would work on Wednesday, and I'd put the show up, and then I'd work on Thursday, Friday. I was working it all out. And I may have mentioned to you, Uber has platinum levels, and they have all these different levels, correct? And I was making dough. So I came back, and you need to do 75 rides in a week to get platinum, and then the fares were doubled. And I was like, I can actually make a living doing this. This works out fine. I can actually make this work. So I came to town, and if you listened to the show, you may have just jumped right to the plugs, but if you listen to the show, you'll realize I've been a little frozen for about 10 days or whatever, however long, and just sitting in my house and staring. I've either been driving or crying. I've been driving and crying. I've been flying courageous is what I've been doing. I've been flying me courageous. I'm sad, man. I won't lie. So I wasn't sure what to do. But I should just dive into the driving and make some money. But then I'm alone with my own head. But then I'm at home and I'm alone with my own head. I got news for you. Wherever the fuck I go, I'm there, and that's no fun. So I've been a little fried. I got home from Denver, and then I've basically put off driving. I've done a little bit of it, but then last week I was like, "Fuck, you got to make some money, dude." Especially now, you know what I mean? Because I got to fix my future. I got to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. I had plans; they're gone. So I drove on Thursday, and I drove Thursday night, and then I went to drive Friday, and I wound up on the phone for about 4 hours at one point, and I with real life, and then I got kind of knocked my dick in the dirt with that, and so I took some time off and I drove late Friday. But then Saturday I said fuck this, and I drove 16 hours. And I drove like 32 people and all over the place. And again, I'm not platinum, so I'm just doing this. I'm humping to get the platinum rates. And again, you don't care about Uber, but if you do want to become a driver, DJZW1YTTUE. So then I drove Sunday, and I was waiting for platinum. And then I got home, and I had to clinch a certain amount. So I had to drive at least 13 people on, or 15 people on Sunday. And I drove 13, then I picked my buddy Chip at the airport, and I was looking at my email, and I got an email from Uber, and it said, "You've qualified for rates next week," which is usually when they let you know about the platinum. So I checked it out, and it wasn't platinum. It was like, hey, man, because it used to be double rates at certain times and 1.8 and all these different fares. And it's the highest rate is like 1.8, but it's in the morning from like 5 to 7 a.m. They've carved it up, basically. And I was like, well, what the fuck? I know for a fact I did the 75 rides. I know for a fact I made platinum. So I went online and I did some research. And I haven't driven, like I said, in almost 6 weeks. I left at the end of July. We went to Texas. We went to D.C. We went all over the place. And I was in Kuwait. And then I came back, and I actually took like 10 days and didn't drive because I was sad and whatever. But it turns out in that amount of time, guess what happened? Uber canceled the Platinum program. Check that. I apologize. Uber didn't cancel the Platinum program. They changed it. If you write them, they'll go, no, you're still platinum. It's just we're doing an experiment with the rates to figure out the best times and the rates. Dude, in other words, I'm a fucking lab rat at this point. And I talked to Lily, and she's like, you've got to find another fucking job. And I'm like, yes, I know that. You think I'm not fucking trying? I try to audition for shit all the time. But I mean, any restaurant job or shit like that I'm going to get is going to pay just the same. And also, I can't get those fucking gigs. I walk into a place and I'm like, hi, I haven't worked anywhere in 21 years except standing on a stage and talking to fucking microphones. Want to bring me in and wait on people? Nobody fucking cares about that. You want to hook people in, get them halfway through a recipe and cut your fucking show in half. That's it. Do an hour about stew and then bail. Get on a plane. And then come back and revisit it 2 days later, because that's the most important stew in the universe. Was there noodles or rice involved? Stay tuned!
We here, we are playing on a level that most will never see.